I just want to know who's fasting. I know wanted to catch y'all before y'all start going to lunch. It's about 10:36 here in LA. When we start to consider fasting, we start to talk about it. I know most of us have, grappled with or even, made a conscious decision within this month or even at the beginning of every year to say, listen, I want to start to fast. I want to fast, want to set things right. And we as a church, we've collectively done that. We've every single year, beginning of the year, top of the year, got up and said, listen, we're gonna start fasting. We're gonna fast at the beginning of the year. We're gonna fast on a particular theme or the focal point of that year. We're gonna stay locked and loaded and then prepare ourselves mentally, spiritually, and condition ourselves as we approach this new year of ministry. And I'm always excited about this moment in time. But, a lot of times we talk about fasting, people begin to do it. All of a sudden they say, okay, I'm not eating, or, I'm not staying away from social media, whatever it is that you have made a decision to do as it relates to your fast. But the lacking part of fasting is that it's not just focused on you not eating. Fasting is not just focused on you not being on social media. There's a point that I'm fasting from this, but I'm putting something else there that will take up the space of what's absent. It's really, really challenging when you really start to really fast. A lot of times we don't even factor in all of what it is that we have to contend with in a moment of fast, the vulnerability, the openness that happens, the emotional, the FOMO, if you will, right? The fear of missing out on certain things. But when you begin to fast, you should at least, if you've never done it and this is the first time of you fasting, you should start like this. Let me help you out. You should start with only at least one meal out of your day. One meal out of your day. I want you to hear me. One meal out of your day. Until you build up the inner fortitude to be able to handle 2 meals out of the day. You need to progressively get there, especially if you've never fasted before. You got to work up to that point to even as much as fasting, which is a goal that I want to set, fasting 1 day a week for the entire year. What's happening in this and what you're doing in this, watch this. Fasting is one practice that universally has been proven, watch this, to extend your life. It extends your life. This fact is documented by Dr. Roy Walford in his book called The Anti-Aging Plan. He did a study in which he fasted mice and found out that they lived longer. See, when you make a habit of fasting 1 day a week, it's not difficult, but doing so just 1 day a week, what you're actually doing is you giving yourself 52 days, 52 Sabbaths out of throughout the whole year. 52 days, watch this, to detoxify yourself. And some of us right now, we're in a place right now, the reason why we take our time to fast, we're trying to detoxify ourselves from the habits or issues or concerns that you've been in throughout the course of your last year. Those who practice fasting 1 day a week or even fast, say it at the beginning of the year or even halfway through the year, you actually produce in you the level to avoid the common cold. So fasting is very, very essential, and I believe it's imperative that we do so. When the body goes into this particular schedule, when the body begins to understand, okay, listen, you're not feeding me this, the body begins to then make adjustments. You realize this, God does everything in sequence. God does everything in order. And because the body is a system that operates in order by the Spirit of God, when you begin to fast, watch this, whatever day you choose. Let's say you're fasting on Tuesdays or you're fasting on Wednesday. If you're fasting on a Wednesday, 1 week, 1 day out of the week, watch this. The body expedites itself. It anticipates that it's getting ready to have a day off. Yeah, I'm about to make this clear, and I want y'all to hear me. He does it in such a way. God has a body in such a way, a system, that the body anticipates the day off. You know how it is when you're at work. You've been working, you've been doing, and then all of a sudden, you get ready to have a day off. It's almost this anticipation, this excitement that comes over you because I'm about to have some time of rest, or I'm about to get away. I'm about to do this. When you start to let your body have a day off, when you start to allow yourself to have a moment where you can process certain things spiritually without distractions, when you can say, listen, let me move myself from social media for a moment so that I won't get consumed emotionally into comparisons that really aren't true. The sooner I get this processed, and soon as I begin to really allow myself to have this moment where I rest, I got nothing else on my desk. In other words, I've cleared my schedule. I've made sure things are open. What happens then? I'm now ready to receive what I probably had been missing because of all of what I had been consumed in. See, this only happens when the body has become acclimated after 6 weeks. And believe it or not, I'm telling you right now, just because you're fasting at the beginning of the year doesn't quite necessarily mean that you are at the spiritual level that God wants you to be in. Let me say that again. Just because you took out time at the beginning of the year doesn't really set you in the right direction for your year. Spirituality is not only just something that should be embraced at the beginning of the year, but it's a consistency. It's continual. It's throughout your year. You want to have a better year? Be better spiritually all year. After 6 weeks of regimen, discipline, and fasting, don't fast just only the beginning of the year. Set a fast schedule for every day of every week of this year. 1 day out of every week of this year. See, it moves you into a spiritual zone that literally will cause you to be so in tune, not only to what God is saying to you and what he's conveying to you, but also, watch this, it makes you be in tune to who you have in your face and who you have in your space. I'm telling y'all, people, God, you start to realize that there's so much that you should get rid of and move out of your life, and then watch this. It also makes you lock in on who you need to lock in with. Fasting will start to change your circle. Fasting will cause you to reset yourself and push yourself to a degree that you have never been at before. Listen, when your body is in a fast, it starts to eliminate toxins, and you'll watch this. You'll notice an increase in energy. So it's not only just my body eliminating toxins, but when I'm fasting, I'm also letting my spiritual man eliminate the toxicity that I've allowed it to be impacted by. So the spiritual man is releasing all of this. And here it is. And now you have more of a spiritual energy for God. Now you're more passionate for Jesus. You're more in tune to what he wants you to do. Then all of a sudden, watch this, y'all, your body is now going through better health, sharper mental functioning. You're feeling sense. Let me use a church where you're feeling sense, your anointing growing and becoming stronger. Regular fasting is a habit the enemy cannot break. Because what happens is when you start to regularly fast, you become strengthened psychologically. You become strengthened emotionally. Y'all can hear this. Some of y'all hear it later on, but I want you. You become strengthened spiritually, and then, in fact, you've elevated your discernment. You're able to try the spirit by the spirit. You're able to know what should be and what should not be, what you should engage in, what you should not engage in. You'll start to understand. Watch this. You start to understand and decipher hunger versus desire. Hunger versus desire. Then you'll start knowing destiny from distraction. Y'all with me? Destiny from distraction. You'll know the difference between a headache and a heartache. And your discernment goes to a whole nother level. It's a terrible thing. Listen, y'all, it's a terrible thing when you're living at the level of brokenness and you can't keep ending up in situations and circumstances that no one has forced you into. A lot of this and a lot of the issues that you've been concerning yourself with, nobody forced you into them. Your assumptions got you there. Yeah. Psychological weakness has got you there. Comparison has got you there. You've missed so much because you've put yourself in that confined space. No one's pushed you there. One of the reasons why you need to be fasting this month, and one of the reasons why you need to fast one day out of every single week through the course of this year, is because you need to make sure you're not distracted by your own thoughts. I'm tell you right now, one of the main resolutions that we should embrace this year, deliver us from us. Deliver me from me. Because oftentimes the me can actually cause more pain than anybody from the outside. And as a matter of fact, sometimes I'm looking at people who are not even thinking like I'm thinking that they're thinking, but I'm applying my thoughts as being their thoughts, saying this is how they treat me. So then my post becomes so toxic. My posting becomes all about all this. Listen, let's get delivered. Let's get delivered. If it's, hey, let 22 be for you. Get you together. Y'all ain't talking to me. Let 22 be for you. As a matter of fact, notice. If it's just one thing, it's a habit. It's a vice. Be it an addiction. But this habit, this vice, this addiction is not something that you need so much of a deep deliverance of. Vices, addiction, habits, what have you that has come into your life are only, watch this, repeated patterns of immaturity. Addictions, vices, habits are only but repeated patterns of immaturity. And there's nothing exciting about just living dangerous. There's nothing exciting about just living on the edge of things. No, let's focus. What have you have? What's in place? What plan do you have? What business plan are you working on? What objective are you wanting to achieve? What goal do you want to? Listen, I want to grow. I don't want to be the same today, this same day next year. There has to be a growth. There has to be a goal achieved. There has to be vision implemented. There has to be mission accomplished. Something has to come. And it starts off with us just taking our time, fasting, and working on us. Removing the toxicity out of our lives. Removing all of this emotional responses and reactions. Listen. If you don't think you're beautiful, take this month and every day remind yourself how beautiful you are. Rid yourself of the toxic statements that have been stated to you back in the day, last year. If you feel that you're not doing things or you're not as successful as you think you should be, then who are you comparing yourself to? Come on, let's fast, right? Let's be conscious and cognizant of what it is that God is doing in and throughout our lives. We get so enamored with stuff that has nothing to do with us. And I just feel that fasting is essential. I believe it is. We've been fractured in our faith. We have been distant, even with God. We have not been as locked in with him as we should be. We've been more consumed with other things and not seeking his face and his will for your life. I'm just trying to help somebody to understand that, listen, we're in the third day of the year and some of us are already lacking. We're in the third day of the year and some of us is already dragging our feet. We done made it to the Trinity Day. Father, Son, Holy Ghost. And some of us are still operating like we're in 2021. I thought you said this was going to be new. This is going to be my year. This is going to be this. Then what have you put in place systemically? What have you put in place spiritually? What have you put in place that's going to help you become the better you that God wants you to be? 22 for you. 22 for you. I'm trying to get y'all to understand this. 22 for you. Stop being fractured by past relationships. So what? It's over. Build a bridge. Get over it. Stop worrying about what happened and what ain't there and who ain't there and what's not. Listen, y'all, free yourself. I said a post a couple weeks ago. You got to untie these knots. You tie it all up. Loose yourself. Loose yourself from what it is that has brought nothing but contamination in your life. Loose yourself from the thing that has always caused you to be feeling insignificant, inferior, insecure. Loose yourself. If you're tired of the job, come on, y'all. Let's find something. Don't quit. Don't quit. But at least go find something that's going to put you in a place where you're supposed to be. I'm serious, y'all. We got to do what we have to do. We got to become better at what it is that God has called us to. And listen, we need help in the area of disbelief. And we have to get to this place and understand this and say this with all honesty, transparently, vulnerable. Be vulnerable. Listen, you talk church all you want, but a lot of us right now, we struggling with our own belief. COVID done took us all, look, conspiracy theories and everything. Listen, you got to lock in. If you don't lock in, you're going to miss so much. God is talking to you, and he's talking to you by way of the ministers and the prophets and the preachers and the pastors and even your friends who are spiritually sound. They're talking to you. They're having conversations with you. But if you are always in your emotions, if you're always in your head, then you're not going to hear anything but only you. And sometimes you are oftentimes not your best counselor. The devil is a liar, y'all. The devil is lying. And I speak right now, even as I'm on this live, and I'm getting ready to get off, but I just had to say this. I speak to every emotional, mental dysfunction. I bind up every sickness that's in your life and in your family's life. I come up against everything that is trying to bring hindrance and stop you from being who God wanted you to be. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be your pusher this year. I'm going to be the one that's going to tell you, listen, go. You can do it. Go after it. Fulfill it. Don't stop. Don't turn around. Don't give up. Listen, y'all, you almost there. I want to be your coach. I want to be your trainer. I want to be the one that's telling you, go get it. Make it happen. While everybody else is telling you something else, I want you to hear from Johnny Withers. Listen, you got it. You can make it. Start the business. Write the book. Come on, y'all. Build your credit. Create, God, wealth not only for you, but for the legacy to come, for your children's children. Establish it. People are leaving here quick. I ain't got time to be worried about if you like me or don't like me. I don't have time for you, God, complaining about all of this and I got this. I'm going, listen, you got 1,440 minutes a day. Maximize every moment you have. I'm hoping I'm not wasting your time. Let's fast. Fast not only just the beginning of this year, but take one day out of every single week and fast and watch God take you to a whole other level spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. Listen, people of God, you're going to be able to cast out so much stuff. You're going to be able to clear out so much, and it's going to happen because of your commitment to fast. Listen, y'all, I love y'all. I didn't try to be on here long. I'm going to try to start doing more lives. I don't even know why I don't do them, but I need to do them. I keep saying that every time I get on here. I'm going to just do them, make them happen. God is killing the stuff that was supposed to kill you. I keep hearing stuff. God is killing the stuff that has so happened to try to kill you. I can't shut up because I believe God is bringing some people out even as they're on this live right now. God is bringing you out of some stuff. He's bringing you out of some pain. He's bringing you out of some situations. He's delivered you even when you was presumed to be dead. Boom. Come on, y'all. You was not supposed to make it. You was not supposed to have it. You was not supposed to do it. You was not supposed to grow. You was not supposed to produce. You was not supposed to make. Listen, God said they thought you were dead, but you're still alive. So what? This year, make no apologies for nothing. This year, do not feel the need to explain anything. Nope. Not I. If you don't feel like talking, you don't feel like talking. If you don't feel like laughing, you don't feel like laughing. You don't feel like doing anything. Listen, I'm at an emotional place of freedom. I could be me. I could do what I do. Are y'all hearing me? All right. What else can I say? Last thing, and I'm finished, and I promise y'all. Failure is the teacher of what you should not do. Success is the teacher of what you should continue to repeat. Can I say it again? Failure is the teacher of what you should not do. Success is the teacher of what you should repeat. 2022, let's be successful. Fasting rids your body of toxins, allows your body rest. It resets you so that you can become all that God wants you to become. I love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. Please, if y'all want the fasting information, I'm gonna send it to you. Here, if you want, I got the fasting information. I got it for you. We'll send it to you. Text the word fast, FAST. I think it's fast. I don't know if anybody from my team is on. Word fast to the number 562-418-5551. Text the word fast to 562-418-5551. Can somebody put that in the comments? for me. If anybody that caught that, I want to make sure people get this. Text the word fast to 562-418-5551. Hey, look forward to seeing you all. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'm out. Now I got to figure out how to turn this thing off. I think it hit the X. All right.